because there is a change of guards. The Speaker of the Delta State House of Assembly, Monday Igboya, has been impeached. He was removed by the majority of the lawmakers for alleged high-handedness and abuse of office. He has been replaced by new Speaker Sharif Oburewuri. Is now leading the legislators in Delta State. That's in the news. Of course, stick around for at the top of the hour. You get all the details of that here on Channels Television, where news comes first. Business is the cousin of news, isn't it? So let's get to the business of commodities market. Tomato prices rising, a major ingredient in all our consumption. So how did we get to where we are at the moment? Let's talk to the experts, and we got about two of them. We're starting from the woman in the kitchen, and that's Amaka Ajegu. She's one of the research analysts at the financial derivatives company. Amaka, tomato is very important in the kitchen, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Very important in our meals. Yes. It's also said to be very healthy. I've been trying to get the doctors to tell me why I should eat fresh tomatoes. It's always advised I should eat fresh tomatoes. So every opportunity I get, I'll pick a few and have that in my mouth. I want to keep healthy. But when you see tomato prices rise very astronomically, folks get a little bit uncomfortable. Yes,
they do. And because, as you said, it's a major ingredient in the food basket in every household. We use it for jollof rice, we use it for stews, we use it for basically everything. So to see this appreciation in the price from 11,000 to 14,000 is a significant event which we have to acknowledge. And this is mainly due to the fact that we're approaching the beginning of planting season. So obviously you're going to see scarcity when this trend begins. So that is why the price of tomatoes
the tomato takes just a few for the fruit takes just a few days. If you don't refrigerate it, it goes bad.
It has a high degree of perishability.
It's very perishable, highly perishable. Therefore, do we always go through this cycle of once we're nearing the planting season, prices go up because there's a scarcity of it, and of course because we don't have enough local producers on the ground. Most of the farmers are hand to mouth, if you want to put it a little bit, the rest for the market.
Yes, exactly. And currently our supply or production of domestic production of tomatoes is about 1.8 million metric tons, and of that 1.8 million you have about 40% post-harvest loss. So there's a huge supply gap, given that the demand for domestic demand for tomatoes is actually 2.5 million metric tons. So this supply gap is going
1.8 million metric tons enough?
Of course not, because we have a supply gap of 1.4 million metric tons. So like I said, demand is about 2.5 million. So we need to amp up our domestic production, because according to the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, we are trying to achieve self-sufficiency in tomato paste by 2017. So local producers have to amp up their game when it comes to domestic production.
Well, we say local producers, you're talking about folks like Dangote Group, and that's the man, Sonny Dangote, who I'll be speaking with next, because I'm going to ask him very tough questions about how do we have such a gap when we have such Africa's biggest billionaire and is not producing more tomato, but is producing more cement. I would rather have tomato first than cement later. So, what are some of the issues surrounding the tomato issue? Again, we spend government news information says about 52 billion naira of our money is what we cough out every year importing tomato concentrate. And now the government says you can't bring it in by ship, you got to bring it in by air if you want to bring it, and there's a higher tariff if you decide to. So there's a penalty, on it. Do you think all these measures are in order?
Yes, because the government has understood that we're not producing at capacity, so there's still room for improvement. And the reason why is because most of these producers haven't, focused on backward integration. So the government is trying to make the environment conducive for local producers to come up and actually meet the domestic demand. So I would say that yes, the government has the right thinking.
Do you think that the dollar-naira relationship has something also to do with the price of everything, and that includes tomato?
Yes, you could say so, because initially when the dollar went depreciated to as low as 520 naira to a dollar, it was lucrative for some local producers to export smuggle some of their produce, because they they stand to make, significant returns. So now that you can see a step towards convergence in the interbank, yeah, exactly, you can see that it's less lucrative for you to smuggle your produce out. So then you have to sell within the confines of Nigeria. So these steps and the appreciation of the naira in the FX market is going a long way to help.
So that should encourage
producers,
local tomato producers, to
focus on the local market instead of
produce locally. And of course they're going to make. But do you think tomato prices is going to be lucrative locally than selling it overseas? Dollar is always a temptation.
Yes, it's always a temptation. But like I said, we can notice a convergence in the rates, so it's becoming less lucrative to smuggle your produce. So with that, with increased conversions in the FX markets, you see that local farmers are less inclined to sell their goods to other neighboring countries.
Let's leave tomato a little bit, because if I have tomato, then I have to need to have a very solid meal to go with it, and that brings me to rice and beans, and tomato goes with those two other commodities as well. I'm still not comfortable with double-digit price for the bag of tomato, for a bag of rice and a bag of beans. I don't know how we're going to fix that. I'm not comfortable with double digits. 6,000, 9,000, maybe 7,000.
Yeah.
But it looks like I live in the past, isn't it?
Yes,
those days are gone.
Exactly, and 2016 was a very fantastic year with the acceleration of consumer prices. So it's going to take a while for you to revert back to those initial days. Yes, exactly.
2015, I guess.
Thank you.
That was the last time we had rice at single digits.
Exactly. So as the economy begins to recover and things start to fall into the right place, then you can see that trend towards those prices of 2015.
Thank you so much for giving me some hope at the end of the day. Well, we'll have to keep buying at 14,000. Oh, hold on a second.
Yes.
In Lagos, it's about 20-something thousand. That's amazing.
Yes, but this is because of the recent closure in the borders. So there's a lot of